Angie, thank you so much for coming
course.
over. And
Thank you so much for having me.
yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
I love it. A little Sunday brunch.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm just so excited to kind of hear about your adventure of life, figuring out what you want to dedicate your career to. So thank you for being willing to share. And before I begin asking you lots of questions, I just would like to hear a bit more like what brought you to Madrid in the first place?
Okay. Well, I'm from Italy, from a little, I mean, technically it's not little, it's a city.
Okay.
But it feels little because it's those kind of city where you kind of know everyone,
Yeah.
then you have a reputation. So I always grew up with this wanting to have more, more
Okay.
events, more people, more opportunities. And I did my Erasmus in Madrid 5 years ago. It was my
Okay.
first experience. It was like 9 months, basically.
Wow,
So,
that's a long time.
Yeah.
Into what was like a big city for you.
Yes, it was
Okay.
such a completely different experience from, growing up it's called Rovigo in my town.
Okay.
And I fell in love with the city. Madrid, I don't know, it just went into my heart.
Yeah.
And then my brother moved here because he found a music school. So I came visit him a bunch of times, and I was always like, okay, I want to come back. I really love this city. I really want to relive this experience. See, even if I want to stay here,
Yeah.
And so I decided to do my internship here, basically.
Okay, so you're here for an internship.
Yes. I applied just, to come to Spain. I was like, I really want to improve my Spanish. I really want to come here. I applied and then I found this one and I am
Okay.
like trying to finish my master and like trying to find a job and trying to get into adult life, basically.
Makes sense. But it's a fun process. We have to enjoy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Every step.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's a difficult but fun.
Absolutely. So before we go into detail of like where you're at now, I would love to go back into that background because you've been going from what we were talking about earlier, right? Very more practical career to a little bit more arts. You definitely emit very artsy vibes.
Yeah.
So
That's a nice thing.
Oh, absolutely. You had shared that you grew up going to the conservatory. So I think you dedicate 10 years being in the conservatory. So what made you decide to dedicate so many years there? And I'm guessing you were playing an instrument. So what were you playing?
So my dad is like an opera singer, basically, part-time.
That's so cool.
Yes. My mom, she studied literature, so she studied also like history of music, history of art. So, we have kind of
in the
like
family.
Yeah. Also, my uncle is like a musician, like it's there.
Yeah.
So my dad, when we were younger, he was like, just try, you have to do an exam to get in.
Okay.
So he was like, try to do the exam for a bunch of instruments and then, you see if you like it, if you don't like it. So I think my brother was 7. I was 10 years old.
10 years old. Wow. Okay.
And we tried a bunch of instruments. I remember I tried like trumpet, double bass, saxophone, like all jazz instruments.
Because you really like jazz or your family was just like, you should try these?
I was, no. I was just
Okay.
like choosing randomly,
Okay.
I was just like, you guys, they were really like letting us choose whatever instruments we wanted to try. And then, you have to choose the one that you get in. So you do the exam. And I got in trumpet.
What?
So I started playing the trumpet.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, it was just like, the conservatory was such an amazing experience because then you do different subjects with your friends. I went to the middle school of the conservatory. So everybody was musicians, they were like studying music and everything. And I just wanted to finish it, basically. Like, I wanted to get my diploma.
Okay. Because you really, really enjoyed it or you were kind of done with it?
I think at the beginning I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was a good experience. And then at one point I was like, it's hard because I was going to school, like high school, and then I was coming home and I was going to the conservatory every afternoon. You have a lot of subjects.
So
you
it's
have exams.
after school?
Yeah.
I thought you were like, it was school. So no, you would go to school and then you would go to the conservatory. It's a dedication then.
Yeah, in Italy, you do it while you do, your like high school or your middle school.
Okay.
And then I finished, I started university, and during that year I was doing university and the conservatory. It was like my last year, and then I graduated from the conservatory.
Okay, so around like 18 or 19 maybe?
It was like 20, yeah, because we finished high school when we were 19.
Okay.
And then I finished at 20, yeah.
Okay, so by then you had an idea that you were over it.
I was done. Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it at the beginning. I loved the environment. I loved the people. You know, you do different things. It's so like, I don't know, such a good experience. But then
such a passion and dedication.
Yeah. And you know, you go to the orchestra, you know, you're playing with other people. You do camps all together in the mountains, playing everyone together. You know, it's like I would love for everyone to just try and go play an instrument, because I think it's super good. You know?
I agree. I have the piano and I love it. It's the best.
But yeah, in the end, it was too much. It was like it's kind of like, you know, you hear stories of people doing ballet for years, and then at one point they're like, this is too much, I'm done.
Yeah. In Spanish, you say like, at one point, te da asco. Like,
yes.
You at one point, like, what would be the word? I don't know in English, but it's just, you start kind of, like, you just don't want to see it anymore. You want to look at it. It's just too much. You have this
feeling of rejection.
Yeah, exactly.
Your instrument, and you're like, oh, fuck.
You're saturated.
Like 5 years ago, I loved it. You know, I was playing every day, and now I'm like, oh, this is too much.
It's like either you're super passionate about it or passionate against it after a while.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah. It's a common experience also for people who do the conservatory. I feel like.
So what happened? Because when you went to college, that first year you were still doing conservatory. So when did you start deciding that maybe you wanted to explore something else? And you had mentioned you were thinking statistics. So where did everyone thing kind of fit in?
So basically, during high school, I was doing this math Olympics.
Math Olympics? Wow.
Random also.
Go hard or go home, I think was your motto. Go hard with conservative math.
I was such a curious kid, you know. I was just doing everything. I was just like, you know, it's fun. Enroll me. I want to do it.
That's great.
So I was doing Math Olympics, and that also was super fun because we were in a team.
Yeah.
We had to solve exercises all together.
That's really cool.
And it was like, it was a whole competition. You were there in a table, like all together with some snacks, and you're like solving math exercises.
And did you compete with other schools?
And you were competing with other schools. And we were really, like, we were going strong. We were going to the nationals, you know, a couple of times. It was super fun. And so, I don't know, I guess this is something that I noticed, you know, I was always really artsy and really like, I loved reading, I loved drawing, I loved doing like, listening to music, playing and everything. But then at one point, since I was really good at math, people kind of like
suggested dropping hints.
Yeah. And they were like seeing me, you know, they were like, okay, you're good at math, you know, this is kind of rare because you're also a woman.
Yeah.
And, you know, math is difficult. So I guess this is your thing.
Yeah, if other people don't commonly have it, you should definitely explore it.
So, so also my parents, they were like, you know, you're good at math. Just go with math, you know, like.
Probably so excited. Wow, my child is good at math. Like, this is great, exciting.
Yeah, they were like, you know, like, go pursue it.
Not everybody gets lucky with that. So,
So, I don't know, I think I was a bit confused after high school because I liked a lot of different stuff, you know, and I wanted to do biology actually, because I also loved animals and I loved biology. So I really didn't know where to go, and I kind of just listened to my parents, and they were like, "Math is your thing, just do that." So I just enrolled in math, and then it was a bit of a compromise for me because I was like, I'm going to do this bachelor and then I'm going to switch to computational biology and do what I actually want to do.
Computational bio. That sounds so intense. I think if I would see that as an option in college, I would run away. Computational biology. Oh my God. Like biology, I get it. It sounds a little like sciencey and hard, but computational is another level.
It's like when you do biology, but you studied it from with like computers and it's like machine learning, which I loved all of this as well. So I was like, okay, you know, a compromise.
Good field. Yeah.
And then I didn't like math. So I was like, this is different from Math Olympics.
It's not Olympic, exactly. It's not the Olympics.
Not
the
like
snacks are missing. That's exactly it. Where are the snacks?
I was like, where are my teammates and my snacks?
Absolutely.
And so I talked about it with my parents, and again, it was a bit of a compromise because they were like, we don't want you to miss an entire year.
Right.
Just start from the beginning. So I also didn't know where to go. I felt like I didn't have time to decide, you know. It was like
so much pressure in college to figure it out because you're also, well, at least in the US, you're paying a lot of money. Your parents are giving you 4 years or so for you to figure it out. But like, that's the time for you to explore what you think you like, figure out that you don't like it, and keep trying other things.
And also, I think to figure out what you like, you need to, you know, like be relaxed, get bored as well, you know,
like really empaparte, like really immerse yourself in it.
I don't know, you need like an entire day where you don't have anything to do and you're just like, okay, what do I like to do, you know, if I don't have pressures or like things that I have to do in my calendar, you know.
Or being too logical, right? Like things need to surface naturally.
So I didn't have to have that, you know, because I was also doing the conservatory. I was going to, you know, I was commuting to university. It was like, I didn't have time to stop and think about it. And I was like, okay, again, compromising. I'm going to switch to statistics. Hated it.
Wow.
Terrible.
It's even going deeper, right? And it's all probabilities.
Oof, I thought maybe it's a bit more practical. Maybe I can apply it to things. All of my projects, I remember, were all about music. You know, my thesis was like, I don't know, models related to like Spotify data. This kind of thing. I was like, this is a bit weird.
Yeah, you were really trying to force
I was, I don't know, looking online at like courses part-time that I could do related to arts, related to music, you know. So I could see it there. Yeah. But I couldn't find the courage to say to my parents, like, this time I'm not compromising, you know. This time I'm just, you know, I want to do what I want to do and that's it.
And so like it feels like what you were prioritizing were like the most logical things and that you were good at it, right? But like what truly deeply inside of you that you really enjoyed was more maybe the arts, which commonly in college or for work, that's always like, well, that's more of a hobby, right? Yeah. But it's interesting because your parents dedicated their lives, right, to culture and literature and...
But I think because my brother is now starting to become a musician, you know, and I think the problem was that sometimes if you're good at something, like I was good at math, and maybe it's something a bit more kind of rare or I don't know, more difficult, then people, they start to say like, that's you, that's your person. Like they kind of like put you in a box.
You have like a talent, you have a gift. Yeah. Why would you want to lose that, you know?
But at the same time, I don't know, I was realizing, now you say you're giving a lot of artsy vibes and you're creative.
100%.
Yeah. And I remember when I was doing math, I was always like saying to people like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not creative. Like I'm not a creative person. I cannot help you with that.
But because people would ask you or they would say things like that?
Or, you know, maybe in a conversation, or maybe they're like, I don't know, oh, we want to... I don't know, a friend asking, what do you think about this outfit, or what do you think about this drawing? And I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about it. Like, I'm not a creative person. I don't know anything about arts.
And that's because you didn't recognize that in yourself.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think I heard so many times, you know, people start saying to you like, oh, you're good at math. You're good at math. You know, you're like a science person. Yeah. And then you become a science person. Yeah. And I don't know. I realized, I was like, it's crazy how much this opinions of people outside, you know, like
really, really affect you. Yeah, absolutely.
And now I'm realizing, I'm like, I'm super creative, and I always had this side of me, and I was always like, I don't know, missing it for a lot of time.
Absolutely. So when did you finally allow, right, to listen to those thoughts? You had mentioned you did a lot of introspection. You spoke a lot to friends. So I don't know if that would be your second or third year of college.
It was when I came here to Madrid, actually.
On Erasmus. Yeah. Everyone always needs to do a study abroad. Please. That is the best. Oh my God. I was in Paris, and let me tell you, that was living la vida loca. It was the best time. But that's when you feel more relaxed. When you're also allowed to dream. And I think when you dream, you kind of explore possibilities that at that time might not seem realistic,
Yeah.
but help you to see like where you really want to explore.
Also, you kind of see what attracts you, you
Yeah,
know? Like, you go
yeah.
to a different place and you're like, okay, what I want to do here?
Yeah.
And I was always like, oh, I want to do, I don't know, an art course. I
Yeah.
want to do, like, I
Yeah.
want to do opera singing classes
Yeah.
and these kind of things, you know?
You kind of leave the normal routine,
Yeah.
right? Where there's all these assumptions about who you are, what you do, what you're about, and instead it's new and it's your time to explore.
And I also took the time
Yeah.
to, you know, just be at home for a whole weekend, not having anything specifically to do.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know, attracted to playing the piano.
Yeah.
Or drawing. And I was like, what do I want to do with my time? I was like, oh, maybe I'm just going to draw a bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not watching statistics videos. Like,
like what you do when you're alone says a lot about you, right?
You know, you go to a city on vacation and you want to go to the cinema museum instead of like the science museum. And I was like, this is, you know, like,
you saw what you were choosing.
Yeah. I was like, I can see a pattern here and it's not related to math.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I went to therapy for like 6 months while I was here in Madrid. I was talking to friends. I was trying to reconnect also with what I liked as a, you know, like when I was a child, and I was reading a lot, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start reading again.
Yeah.
I tried to, it's so funny now that I think about it. I was really forcing the statistics, you know, on me. I was
Why do we do that? We try to be logical in what we think is the logical world, but we're not. Humans are not that way, right?
And I don't know. In the end, you know, I'm not being logical or irrational. Like, I'm still realistic. I still know that I have to find a job, you know, I have to pay my bills.
Absolutely.
But I want to do it in a different field that it feels more like me, you know, and with a, like, explore more my personality and
leave the statistics for those that like statistics. Actually, I'm sure you appreciate and you respect it.
I love it. I'm using them in my thesis. I'm putting statistics there. You know, I'm just like, okay, thank you for doing that, but not for me now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that was a bit my...
So you think Spain is a good place to explore the arts? I actually think of Italy as that. Like, I remember when I studied abroad in Paris, I was like, I am leaving, I'm going to Italy, I'm going to Rome, and I'm going to be all in museums, and I don't care if anyone's coming with me, I'm going to Italy. Because for me, Italy screams like passion and culture. In Madrid, maybe more like sometimes drinking and relaxing. And very social, I would say. Also.
But yes, but at the same time, you know, my town, like little small town where you kind of have the reputation, is not such a artsy, you know, like if you go to Rome, for sure.
Yeah,
if you
a bigger
go to
city.
Venice, you go there to study, you know, like it's another thing. But I would say also I don't know if it's like this in Spain, but we have ideas about the bachelor or master that you're choosing. So if you're choosing to study like music, then you're just like smoking weed the whole day and that's it, you know, like
Same in the US,
If you're choosing to study math or medicine, then you're gonna like, you know, you're gonna be a success.
Absolutely.
Your career and it's gonna be amazing. But so we have a bit these ideas that also my parents were saying like, you know, you're smart. We are not gonna waste, which it was like a bit their thing. Like, we're not gonna waste your intelligence, you know, on studying music. Yeah.
Knowing also like there are careers that in the end are many times respected, or maybe they're just paid more, because I think people respect the cultures, but I think it's just definitely like when we look at salaries, it's just not the same. But I do think people respect the arts a lot. Some people appreciate it more than others.
Yeah. But also, I think there is a bit of a hierarchy inside also the art world. So I don't know, if you study classical music, you know, you're here. If you study like pop culture, like you know, like
absolutely
contemporary music,
makes sense,
you're here. If you like draw, then you're here. If you do something more like intense, like illustration, graphic design, you know, these kind of things, then you're a bit more like here in the hierarchy. So it was difficult to kind of navigate all these opinions
Yeah.
and ideas that people have.
It's like listening to like inside of you what you're really exploring, but then all this outside noise.
Yeah.
And from also people who love you and know you, right? Giving you advice.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a journey, I would say, but I think Madrid that's why I'm a bit obsessed with the city.
I mean, I love it. Only good things come out of Madrid.
Yeah.
Only good things. And that's always careful because time flies. I feel like I came here yesterday and it's already either yesterday or today I celebrate 4 years living in Madrid already and no regrets. I would never go back to the US in the moment. So many good things, but there's just, you really do live at your fullest. I think you don't hide many things in Spain.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. So you said you also spoke a lot with friends. Do you feel like most of your friends were the typical, like, yeah, you do your thing, or were there a lot of doubts generated as well?
No, I would say my friends were like really supportive, but also realistic. You know?
That's
like,
great.
They were like, I remember with my best friend, we were sitting in his house and we were like, we had like a big paper and we were like making all the different possibilities for my life.
That's amazing.
He
what
was
a
like,
good group of friends. Wow.
He was like,
What's
I don't know,
drawing, like probability, statistics. Okay, if you choose this career, then all these possibilities come out.
With like these little drawings, you know. He was like, either, I don't know, you flew the country and like you just go somewhere and you just like start from new, you know. Exactly. Or you choose statistics and you have miserable years, or you do this, you know. We were like, okay, you know, is it like possible for me to just switch to do something I love, but also have the support of my parents, or I have the money? Because, you know, you have to also think about these practical things.
Absolutely.
I was telling my parents, I just want to do something related to art. And they were like, you know, we are not going to support you economically for that because it's something that you want to do and we do not approve of it. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so how am I going to, you know, am I going to find a job? Is it doable? Yeah. Am I going to a bit ruin like my career doing this? So we were thinking a lot about the practicality, you know, of it and the different possibilities,
So it's a good exercise to do, kind of like, you choose this, what are the pros, what are the potential cons, but you never really know in the end what happens.
But it's also like, because I'm not saying just like, you know, pursue your dream, like don't think about the money, like, I don't know, happiness is going to pay your bills.
Yeah. But you do need to feed yourself and like pay the bills. Yeah. In Europe, the taxes are pretty high. Yeah. So,
yeah, you need to be, I think you need to be like pragmatic as well, kind of. So.
Absolutely. You need money to buy your paints, to, you know, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So,
and therapy was also very useful.
It was, I think that was one of the main, you know, things. Because it was the first time that I was taking 1 entire hour to just think about, okay, what I want to do, expressing it. And my therapist was always like letting me understand, you know, guiding me, but letting me do the work.
That's always the key, right? Like they can't give you answers, but they can kind of give you the structure to explore kind of what you're feeling.
Asking me the right questions as well.
To help you give yourself clarity. So that's good. It's good to have friends, especially if you have good friends that are, I feel like, very real with you, but then having someone who's very honest and a professional. There's nothing better than a professional.
Yes, like you can talk to your friends.
There's nothing like a good vermouth with your friends, but when it comes to life decisions, maybe it's better as a therapist.
Absolutely. Also, you know, it's not fair to your friends because they're not therapists. You know, you cannot like just be there and be like, okay, help me figure out my entire life.
Absolutely.
You know? It's like, you have to go to a professional.
And I think what you said, it's very key, like giving you the right questions, because otherwise you could also take the time to say, okay, Sunday morning, I'm going to take the time to really listen to myself. But sometimes you don't even know where to start. Like there's so much noise in our brain that you need someone to give you exercises of like, okay, let's start with this. What are your values? What is something you don't want to give up? I don't know, examples, right? But someone who can really guide you through the process.
And also like mental exercises. She was like, you know, like you have your mom's voice in your head. Just give her a name, you know, like give her this kind of like personality that it's in your head, and like slowly let's try to remove this and like put it in front of you, kind of like you're talking to it, you know. So you have your personality, your mom's or like your parents, you know, expectation and everything. And these exercises there are feeling a bit like stupid when you talk about it.
Oh, I've read books on this. If anyone's heard the book The Body Keeps Score, which is a lot of actually being able, either by journaling Or there's a theater
journaling.
thing. This is like kind of a freaky, I don't know the name of it, but my ex was really big on this. There's this theater thing for like, you go to this like, it's like as if you're gonna do a play, and you literally, all those characters, your mom, your brother, whoever like was in your life, people start taking on those roles so that you can see how they influence your life.
Yeah.
So that's huge to be able to give them like a name or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So therapy, definitely recommended, very worth it. So
Yes.
if after those, you know, talking to your friends, doing therapy, giving yourself that time to, you said like boredom, allow yourself to explore what you wanted to do, and you naturally were choosing activities that showed you wanted arts. So you kind of figured out you wanted something more arts. So first question is, how did you figure out exactly what you wanted to do in the arts, I would say?
That was also something like pragmatic, I would say, because you know I had a bachelor in statistics.
Okay.
Of course, I couldn't just drop everything and just go do like an art course, you know, like become a painter or something.
Yeah.
And you know, so I tried to find something that was kind of related to my field. A master as well, because I didn't want to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of
moving
you know,
forward,
yeah.
but in the right
But
direction.
like in the so I remember I found like some arts management courses, and I was like, okay, you know, like I really like organizing. Some subjects were also economics or statistics for the arts. So I was like, you know, it's like going into the right direction, being in the arts field sector, but still making use of what I studied,
Your
you know, because
base.
I don't think it's fair to just remove a part of your life and just cut it out and be
As
like,
if it's
this
not
is-
worth
yeah,
anything.
you
All
know,
that time.
this is for everything, like things that you study, courses, relationships, friends, you know, like everything. You cannot like just cut it and be like,
Compartmentalize it and leave it.
I think you just have to understand, okay, you know, this is still part of me, and I just want to like integrate it with my future self.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that didn't come naturally in my life. I used to be very, not anymore, but it used to be very black and white of like, now I'm going to do this, now I want this, and move and start with like a clean slate. But we're humans, we're not clean slates. And that's beautiful, right? It's kind of like a mosaic of so many experiences, right? People that impacted our lives.
Yeah.
And making the most out of that.
Because in the end, you know, you get something, if you have the right attitude, I think you get something for every experience.
Yeah.
So even my statistics, like terrible bachelor, you know, that I hated, it was still good.
Yeah.
Because it brought me here. I still can put it on my CV.
I'm sure it's very attractive when
so-
people see you in the arts, like, wow, look at her.
And they're always like
statistics
super
there.
confused. They're like,
Sounds fancy. We don't know what it is, but it sounds useful. So
That's
great.
So,
So cultural management, and that you did the master's. Well, you're completing the master's, right? And that's at the same university where you did your bachelor's.
No, it was like a different one. I went from Padua to Bologna. Basically.
Okay. Okay, and so where are you in the process then? Because you said you're also doing an internship here in Madrid. So where are you doing it, and how's that experience?
So I'm doing it at the Teatro Real.
So cool.
Yeah.
Do you get any tickets?
Sadly, no. Not even for me. It's really sad. No discounts, so everything.
I'd love to go to the opera. I've been once. It's amazing.
I'm gonna try.
That'd be cool.
But yeah.
Have you been to see a show at least?
That's great. Yeah. We have some tickets for us.
Okay.
But it's really difficult to get them from other people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because we are a lot of like interns, so they can. I think that the Teatro Real is one of the biggest theater like in the whole world. It's like
really
300 people just in the offices.
Oh wow!
So without even like I don't know singers, the orchestra, the people that are working on stage, you know, like dancers.
That's huge, and that's at the building at the Teatro Real.
Yeah, it's
down
like
under?
8 floors
That's 8
up
floors.
and minus 13 floors down.
I'm sorry, 13?
13 underground.
If anyone has walked around the opera, they're 13 floors underground.
Yes. It's crazy.
That's wild.
You basically have another whole theater underground. Yeah. It's like this, literally. It's
but it's very dark, right? Then I would say if it's all underground.
Yeah. It's mostly rehearsal rooms,
spaces. Makes sense with all the music and
like stage places, you know, where like they have a another stage, same dimensions, same everything, you know, like
Yeah.
underground where
Yeah.
they rehearse so they can
incredible.
see. So, no, it's like a huge building. I don't know, it's like an organization that I've never been anything like
This is like a fun fact. I had no
Yeah.
idea. It just looks like a beautiful building that you walk by. It looks big, but you would never think it's actually like
Yeah, it's
13 times
giant,
under.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Giant, yeah.
And how has that experience been? What has it taught you about what you want?
Yeah, I think, well, it's a bit different from what I was expecting.
Okay.
It's a bigger organization.
Yeah.
So I don't have that much space, like, you know, to do my stuff. Also, my boss is super busy. 'Cause
Okay.
it's like everything is super fast, like going
Okay.
around. And yeah, I think it's teaching me a bit about like how the hierarchies in a job.
Yeah, and in Spain especially. Yeah. So you're
And
seeing that.
a bit like the chisme.
Oh, there's a lot of
Like,
chisme. There's always
a lot of
chisme at every work.
gossip.
Yeah, I feel like every time you go to work, you first off realize it's very hard to find a dream job. You'll notice that
Yeah.
nowhere is perfect, and that a lot of what influences your job is actually the people.
Yes.
Like, it's huge. You want to be with people you enjoy,
Yeah.
that also take care of you, that are there for
Yeah.
you. But nothing's perfect.
I don't know, like I have a work bestie there.
Well, that's good. That's awesome.
So when she's there,
Yeah.
I'm like, best one, like the best job in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
I love it. And when she's not there, I'm like, this is
So it's like a swing. It's amazing. Oh, she's not here. It's not great. And she's also doing an internship? Or she
she's
works
also
there?
doing an internship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But does this confirm you want to keep working in cultural
Yes,
management?
definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It's confirmed. Like I also did I'm doing like a lot of internships, so I
Yeah.
really want to know what I want to do in this
Yeah.
world, and it is like every one of them was like, okay, this is, you know, I love this. This is the like art field, music field, opera field is like for me. Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you feel like you have an idea now? I think it comes also with experience of working at jobs. Like I truly, within like 3 or 4 years, I thought I had gotten my dream job. It was an organization I was obsessed with. I still respect them so much. And I thought I had my dream job, and I realized it wasn't my dream job. Also because then you realize you actually care much more about simple things like having normal working times, working on a subject you like. There's like, it's just so interesting what ends up being what you like. But do you feel now, having done this internship, and also you've done a lot of other jobs throughout university, do you have an idea of the type of job you would want? Or that's still unknown?
I would say I really want to work for something that kind of like an association that gives me a bit of a purpose, you know?
Yeah, that's huge.
Because now realizing that I did another internship in another theater, and they were doing a lot of work for like charity work. They were working with children, they were working with hospitals, you know, all related to music.
Yeah.
But I realized that was a big part of the experience for me. I really loved it. And here they don't do it as much.
Yeah.
It's a bit more
Like an entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like it simplifies it, but it's a
it's
cultural space.
I mean, we work with a lot of rich people that are giving money to the theater,
Which we need,
you
but
know, but it's a bit, I don't know.
maybe
like,
it's not as soul-fulfilling
Yeah.
than like actually giving to community, because art can really transform people's lives, and it's not always accessible to people, right? For so
also,
many reasons.
It's a bit of a, I would say opera is a bit of still like an elite kind of art.
For sure.
And they were trying to make it more accessible when I was doing the internship in London.
Yeah.
And that was what I really enjoyed, you know. They were having performances for people with some sort of disabilities like Tourette syndrome or like ADHD. So they were like having these relaxed performances. It was such a great idea. Discount like tickets, you know, like everything.
Making it more accessible.
So I'm realizing like that here, you know, and I still love it. I still think it's a really good experience. But it's giving me a bit of a more like.
It's a good realization to have now. I honestly, like looking back, I've already entered into the 30s. But like when I first entered the 20s, especially a very American mindset, but I think it's also like a young worker mindset. You really look like, I knew I wanted to work in sustainability, which is already also a very purpose-driven career. But it was definitely like, I want to work at a top tier organization, brand name and like actually realizing what matters really on a day-to-day to wake up from your bed and say, yes, I want to go to work, is to truly feel like you have a purpose and that you're giving back. So I think that's a great realization to have.
Yeah, because in the end, Teatro Real is like, I don't know, a dream job. You
Yeah,
know?
oh, absolutely.
And
yeah.
my dad, he is obsessed with me
Yeah.
interning here. He's
I'm
like,
sure.
He's
Yeah.
like, you have to, I don't know, get to know everyone.
Get a job now.
Yeah, memorize all the documents in the computer. And I'm like, that is not that glamorous.
Exactly. Once you work there.
I'm not like, it's fun, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not like I would expect, you know, I probably prefer something a bit more simple.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Been there, done that, girl.
Yeah.
Where you have the name, and it is a great place to have that experience, but it really matters much more like being fulfilled.
Yeah.
And also you said it's an organization with 300 people. There's also a thing like I also worked, my dream job was around 300, 400. It was a global organization. Now I work for a 25-person organization. They can be quite disorganized. There's a lack of processes, but it feels like a family. And there's something to that, which is incredible.
Yeah. No, and Teatro Real at the moment is like people coming and going, you know, it's exciting. As a, like for a new experience, I'm like, oh, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
After a while, you're like, okay, I don't know any name.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Like, I'm just having my 4 or 5 people that I
Exactly.
know, and I'm just having lunch with them, and that's it. So, you know.
Are you having some key people? You said your boss is quite busy. Are there any adults that are there? Because we're not adults, but are there any people maybe that have been working there longer or have more work experience that are taking the time to?
They don't have it.
There's just no time.
They don't have it.
Okay.
They literally, like, they are trying for sure. Like, if my boss is trying to, he's like, yeah, send me the, you know, all the questions that you have. Or like, this is how you do this.
Yeah.
Another guy is like, I'm going to show you around. But it's always like, today I cannot, the day after I cannot. You know, it's like.
So they're on the go all the time.
It's
that
like
makes sense.
super fast all the time.
Yeah.
So, and also we are a lot of interns. So if they, they cannot take the time to
all of them. Absolutely makes sense. So maybe I would ask you for one last question. From your experiences, what would you advise to someone who is kind of having that struggle between, I feel like there's this career I could choose that maybe financially will pay me off, but I'm curious about something else. Like, what are some things that you've realized and you think is important to do?
I think it's important to, like, be honest with yourself, first of all. Yeah. I think you have many ways that you can try to understand what you want, but you have to actively do that, you know, like you have
so you
to
need to get dirty, like you need to do it.
Yeah, I think, because I think, you know, it's easy to just do what you think it's your career, what you're good at, and just like go with it, you know. But I think having the courage to just say, okay, maybe this is not for me, maybe I made a mistake, maybe I thought it was the job of my life, but then it's not, you know. You have to just be really honest, you know. Absolutely. And I also trust what you feel. Do you feel jealousy? I was listening to the episode with Ren.
I love it. It was another episode. Oh, I'll tell Ren.
And she was talking about jealousy. That's true. That's super important. You like see what you're attracted to, what people, you know, you surround yourself with. Jealousy. Why? I was like, why am I jealous of my brother? You know?
Yeah.
And he's
so explore
like,
those feelings. Can be a good thing to right? She was saying if you're feeling jealous, it's not always a negative thing. It actually might point to like something that you really care about, right?
Yeah. And then after you're being honest with yourself, you know, you kind of see, you just have to do it, I think.
Try it. You might not like it, you might like it.
That's the thing. I think, you know, we, like, the mistake could be to just get stuck in your head.
Oh, that's huge.
Just be in your head and be like, okay, I have to decide what I want to do for the rest of my life, you know? And that's a bit of a, then you get into this paralysis and you don't know what to do and you don't know. And me just trying, I don't know, 15 different types of jobs, like completely different from each other, was so useful because now I can tell, okay, I like working with people, but not too much. I like, I don't know, working
kind of finding the sweet spot of everything.
And not like remove anything from your life, you know. You have to kind of see a pattern. You have to see, okay, I like this one and this one, you know. You try different stuff. You try to be honest with yourself, and you're never gonna find final solution, because
Right.
you're changing as well,
Yeah.
you know, like you're changing as a person. So
Absolutely.
it's just like about taking the time every now and then to stop and reflect and just try to understand, and also doing stuff. So,
Yeah. So
sounds
go
like
out
a
there with
lot. It sounds like
But
impossible.
it's so true. It's like in the end, it feels like it's not really in your brain. It's more
Yeah.
about like going out there in the world, exploring, because what you think you might know, you actually don't know until you try it.
Yeah.
And you might
Yeah.
like it, you might not. And I think that's what you said, being really honest throughout the whole process, right?
Yes.
Maybe what you need
Yeah.
now is something, and maybe in a few years you're gonna
Yeah.
need something else. So being really open to yourself.
Because I was also having conversation, like my boyfriend, for example, he was telling me that he gets so fixated with how his life is supposed to go. And he's like, you know, I decided that I want to do a PhD in this place and then a postdoc in this other place. And you know, in the end, maybe you have a great opportunity and you're just like, you know, no, this is not for me.
Right.
This is not the thing for me.
Yeah.
Just, you know, embrace it. That's the thing. You just try to think about it while you're doing it, see the pros and cons, and then change your mind. I think, you know.
Try it out.
It's just like the process is fun in the end.
That's truly what came to my mind was it's a fun process if you're open to what life is about to bring you.
Yeah, I did so many different jobs, and you know, like some of them were good, some of them were like not for me.
Yeah.
But then in the end, it was fun. Now I have some stories to tell.
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
Okay, you know.
But that's it, being open to it,
Yeah.
right? And trying it out.
And then at one point, you know, you're gonna have your like kind of peace.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's gonna be disrupted by something, and then you're gonna find it again, and then you know you're gonna change your mind. So yeah.
So exploring.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Angie, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
I can't wait till you get some discounts or tickets
Yeah.
to go to Teatro Real. I swear yesterday I said I would love to go to an opera show here.
Okay, I'm gonna
one
try.
day.
I'm gonna
one
try and make it
day.
work.
But
Yeah.
thank you so much for reflecting. I think these are lessons that better to hear them sooner in your exploration than after a few years of just struggling and pushing something that just doesn't feel like it aligns.
Yeah. I think it's a long process. So, but everybody has to find their own. You know, I'm sure people are gonna like take what they need from this, and then
Absolutely.
just see.
Great. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Angie.
you so much.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye, people.